In a letter to parents, the district says the driver admitted to police that he consumed beer while the Lincoln Elementary students were engaged in activities.
The 4th and 5th grade students were on a field trip to Madison to visit the Capitol and the zoo.
Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz has been covering this story and joins us now in the studio. And Ben, how did this happen?
Well, Mark, in that letter to parents, it says a student discovered a leaking can under the driver's seat while they were on their way back to Lincoln Elementary. The district says that discovery was when the bus was near Rosendale, but it wasn't confirmed to be a beer can until the bus was 15 minutes from the school. In between that time, the district says teachers alerted them of the can. The district called Lamers Bus to have them initiate their safety protocols. The district says Lamers explained the bus might not have been properly cleaned out from a prior use. Lamers told the district to have teachers try to smell alcohol on the driver or notice any signs of impairment. The district says they could not. When the bus arrived back to school, police investigated and determined the driver's blood alcohol level was above the legal limit for a commercial motor vehicle, which is .04.
Well, anytime that there's kids involved, I think you personalize it, and you try to understand why the situation happened, and sometimes you just don't understand why things happen the way they do. But from the police perspective, we are there to make sure that people are safe and hold people accountable.
If it happened before and it was just sitting there and they didn't notice, then something's not been done who knows how many times.
And that parent you just heard from did not have a student on the bus yesterday, but tonight at 9 we will hear from a student who was on the bus. Another note, a district spokesperson says Lamers would have had to make the call to stop the bus before it reached the school. The district plans to work with Lamers to review safety protocols.
All across America, nearly 80,000 truck driving positions remain unfilled.
Staffing shortages are putting pressure on the industry, but some lawmakers are working to alleviate the problem. Fox 11's Charlie Rubeski has our report.
Truck drivers are often considered the backbone of America.
The U.S. got to see how much of an impact truck drivers have when they got to see some empty shelves in the last couple of years. So I feel like they now truly realize the impact that they make.
Without truck drivers behind the wheel comes lasting impacts like increased shipping costs and delays.
Now, obviously, this problem manifests itself in every industry, right? People are struggling to find workers that they can keep that will show up to work, but it's been particularly pronounced in this industry.
Congressman Mike Gallagher is introducing bipartisan legislation to help alleviate some of the pressures the trucking industry is facing. This legislation would help address truck driver shortages by providing qualifying drivers with a refundable tax credit.
We want to incentivize people that want to work and make it make sense to work as opposed to not to work.
Gallagher says this legislation is just a Band-Aid and there's more work that can be done. Industry leaders say they're facing several challenges.
So you have the ongoing retirement, you have demands that are at really strong levels, you have supply chain challenges because of other constraints on the bottleneck, if you will.
But industry leaders are prioritizing training and company culture.
So I think if you have a proper company culture and that you invest in a driver's development and training, to your point, I think it goes a long way, because I believe that the new people coming into the industry, if they can get with a company that wants to invest in their development, that means a lot to them.
Federal judge in Florida voided the mask mandate, saying it exceeds the authority of U.S. health officials.
The mandate was supposed to go through May 3rd. Fox 11's Nick Harrington tells us how travelers feel about the news.
Passengers are wearing masks at Austin Straubel on Monday, but soon that may not be the case. Though it's a fluid situation and agencies are assessing potential next steps, the TSA is not enforcing the mask mandate on public transportation. That includes at airports and onboard aircrafts.
I think we'll learn more in the next 24 hours whether or not the CDC will appeal this or allow it to be revoked.
Austin Straubel Airport Director Marty Pia told this to Fox 11 before the TSA stopped enforcing the mask mandates. Although no more masks is welcome news to him.
Hopeful for it. If not, we're still looking at that May 3rd deadline for the extension. But yeah, we're hopeful that it expires sooner rather than later.
I think it's time to let the masks go.
Flying to Detroit, John Cook agrees. He says masking depends on what others around him are doing.
I don't think that they're very effective. And generally, I prefer not to have to wear them. But, a lot depends on on the folks around me. I don't want anyone else to feel uncomfortable.
Dave Coons is flying to Minneapolis, and he thinks people will welcome this decision. He says some will continue wearing masks while others won't.
I'm going to continue wearing mine in close quarters like that, so it's probably a mixture of people wearing masks and not wearing masks, but I would imagine the flight crew is probably a little relieved in some ways.
Delta Airlines told its employees they may experience inconsistent enforcement over the next 24 hours due to information being received at different times, and that they should show understanding and patience with others who are not aware enforcement is no longer required. Flying from Austin Straubel, Jeff Rasmussen says he'll do the same.
I'll follow directions as I'm supposed to, just so I don't cause any uproar.